Making our forefathers proud in the city of Rocky and brotherly love. Westwood One Podcast Network brings you another free episode of Opie Radio.
Here with Carl Ruiz.
Boo!
My thoughts exactly. That can mean so many things right now.
It fits with everything right now. Everything we did here is boo.
I say boo to the podcast movement. I don't even know what this is.
Opie, there's a guy walking around with a shirt.
Yeah.
That said, "Tell me about your book." I wanted to chest punch him and take all the air out of his body.
Wait, his book or
come talk to me about your book.
What does that mean?
I guess that's the name of his podcast.
Tell me about your book.
We got to get out of this podcast.
Oh my god.
You know what I learned in these last 2 days?
Yeah.
Is we're doing it wrong.
How depressed are you?
I am literally.
Good to see you
bye-bye.
too. All right. Another person that can't do anything for us.
But
good to see you.
I've met so many people under me.
Yeah.
Like this one guy said, "Oh yeah, I was on the Food Network." I just walked away from him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been there for 7 years. I haven't seen a hair of it.
It's just depressing. Like, there's a lot of people here that are trying to get their podcasts off the ground, and they're hoping to get 1,000 downloads per episode. And I'm like, oh my god! I mean, we're doing way better than that, and we're not happy. And
we're not happy. It has nothing to do with this podcast. Our unhappiness comes from a completely different place.
I'm starting to realize that every single person is doing a podcast at this point. So how do we rise to the top?
But you know what's funny is we're probably the two only people here.
Yeah.
That people say hi to that aren't wearing a fucking lanyard.
Yeah.
With a Wikipedia description on who they are.
Exactly.
Like everyone's here staring at each other's lanyards. Like they would read it first. Oh, big fan. Like no one knows anybody.
That's why I don't have a laminate on.
We don't need laminates. You never wear a laminate.
No, I had one. I wasn't going to wear it.
Somebody had 4 laminates on.
Right.
His Glenn Beck tramp stamp was showing.
Stunt brain.
Stunning.
It's Michael Pelka, and he lives in Delaware, so he's like, "Oh, you guys are going to be in Philly. I want to come up and say hi to you, right?" So he comes up, and the first thing he does, he signs in at registration.
Holy shit! I'm such a fan.
Hey, Ken Cage, how are you, buddy?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Grab a stool. I'm in the middle of telling.
I didn't know you were going to be here. I'd have brought you a shirt. I'll get you one.
So anyway, I got to finish this thing with Stump Brain. So he goes through registration, and then he starts grabbing all the free swag.
Dude, he had everything. I saw him. He had a cup holder, a pen, for podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then he just takes off. You notice he just took off? I'm like, where'd you go? We were supposed to go, there's like a tent city here at City Hall.
I've never seen someone go out of their way to miss all the fun stuff. No dinner at Ralph's. He didn't do anything cool. He didn't even come to the seminar. He literally came, got a goodie bag, and just wandered around until something fun happened, then he split.
Well, let me read the text from him. I think it was, hold on, give me 1 second. Ken Cage, we're going to get to you, trust me. You can just start jumping in with all this nonsense.
I'm just enjoying it.
Let me see.
Repo's my favorite.
All right, so I go, where did you go?
$1 billion repo, man.
Ooh. So, Carl, I go to Stump Brain. Where did you go? He sends me a bunch of pictures from the panel thing we were on, which was another thing that was a complete waste of time. He goes, Robert took me to Lowe's across the street to look for Carl, and then he disappeared. I got pissed at the rain and jumped on a train. That's what he writes me.
That's not normal.
What do you mean you got pissed at the rain and jumped on a train? I go, I was hoping we'd hang out more. He goes, yeah, me too. We'll do it again.
Do what again?
You were in the moment. We were hanging out.
What's he coming to next? The Model Train Expo?
And then he goes, I've fallen down a Lucinda Williams and Tom Waits well. Lucinda Williams is a pretty cool artist.
Boo!
I understand. And I go, respect, love me some Lucinda. And then he sends all these weird pictures of me and you podcasting.
Huh?
And he's gone.
He's got to go to a mind doctor.
And then then I told Tim, I go, where are all the celebrities? Because I was told, it'd be a good opportunity for you and Carl.
Literally, Ken Cage is the most famous person who's been here for the whole weekend.
And he wasn't even invited. I had to call him and say, get over here. We have no one to talk to.
You called Ken Cage?
Yes.
Because it was a celebrity desert.
Exactly.
That's the bottom of the barrel, isn't it? When they're asking me to come.
I mean, it was so many unfamous people here that someone came up to me like, "Aren't you the Food Network?" I'm like, "Nope."
I took a lot of pictures, to be honest with you, and
with Tim.
Well, no, the Westwood One people go, well, you're actually the big get here. I'm like, I never want to be in a place where I'm the big get.
Imagine what it feels like to be the second big get.
Right. That's why I don't do these things. I never want to be the big get. I want to just kind of fit in.
I almost stabbed someone in the neck with a pen. They came up to me, they're like, "You're the funny cook that does the show with Opie." I'm like, I started shaking inside.
The funny cook.
The funny cook.
Oh, my God. Anyway, with that said,
can we talk to Ken, please? I need to talk to someone famous. I've had.
You know Ken Cage, right?
I love Ken Cage.
Why do you love Ken Cage?
Because he has a. Think about who I am.
Yeah.
Right. Think about how much I love shady shit. He makes money stealing stuff.
Right.
This is my
Well,
Pope.
is it really stealing if they're not paying their bills?
It's still, you need the same art. You got to be sneaky. You got to be smart. You got to know how to get in and out of places.
Right.
It's like, it's everything I want to be.
Yeah.
But legal.
Well, Ken Cage is the star of, is it called Airplane Repo? I always forget the name of the show.
Yeah, it's Airplane
officially.
Repo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And where is it on?
Discovery.
And I think you've already done 3 seasons, right?
I have, yeah. We're the fans want to get a 4th, so they're doing the hashtag Bring Back Airplane Repo.
Oh,
I'll
beautiful.
put that hashtag on everything.
Oh, fuck. We'll get our people to do it.
I'm happy to say I brought you a copy of the book I wrote.
$1 billion Repo, man.
And you're prominently listed in the book several times.
Really?
Well,
Can you just tell me what pages so I don't have to read the whole thing?
I on purpose did not page it, so you couldn't do that.
Oh,
so no
you
pages
suck.
listed.
Can I tell you, Ken Cage
He's
knows
smart.
how to do.
He's smart. So now I got to read the whole book, and then I can mention that. How did you mention me in the book?
Well, I mean, we've talked before. I was a huge fan of your show back on 94 YSP back here in Philly, back in, what was that, the 90s, early 2000s? And I've just always followed you. So when you invited me up to do your show, it was like, one of the highlights of my life. Right.
Wow.
Well, you know that. I told you that before. Even though you're an Islander fan, it's still cool.
Not as much with them trading, not trading, but they didn't re-sign Tavares. I understand Tavares leaving. I mean, he gave him enough years to try to figure out the organization. So now he's going to go and win a Stanley Cup somewhere else. You watch. Little hockey talk, Carl. Sorry.
They're set.
Bring Stop Brain in for this one.
Do you hear a lot of people just babbling? There's
what
a
do you
lot
think
of babbling.
podcasts are?
But they're not even talking into microphones. Why have a conversation if you're not recording
Why?
it?
Because
people?
once Westwood One told them 1,000 was successful, they stopped trying. Now they're just basking in their glory of their 1,000
This
followers.
has to be your worst nightmare. It is. A hipster convention with a bunch of backpacks.
I'm confused in a lot of ways because I really love doing this.
Right.
But I'm realizing my fellow podcasters are zeros. And I'm supposed to be supportive because it's a really tight-knit community. What I don't like about them is they're too happy. You can't put on a good radio show or a good podcast or a TV project or a reality show if you're happy-go-lucky. You got to have a little angst in you, or a little spite in Carl's case.
Spite is the best emotion. And one thing I've learned in life, anyone who looks happy is a murderer.
Right.
Those are the people that are truly happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they got away with something big or something. This is fake happy. These people are devastated inside.
They're all sitting around looking at each other like, why are we successful? I'll tell you why. First of all, you don't have a recording device in front of you where you're trying to make something happen at the podcast movement.
One thing that's been irking me at the podcast movement is people putting nicknames on their lanyards or adding flair, like a pin or something to their name tag on their lanyard. It makes me blind with rage. I was in the elevator just shaking. This guy had like a happy face and prayer hand emoji pins on his lanyard pass. I wanted to wrap it around his neck and just finish him right there.
Oh my God. That just proves that they're actually not happy people. You know that, right?
Anybody that puts flair around their fucking name is devastated inside.
Yeah, it's fake happiness. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, these people just babbling over here. Babble. Babble. Yes, I'm talking about you, and you don't even know because you're not even aware. Here we go. That's another thing you need if you're going to be successful at radio or podcasting. An awareness.
Dude, Ken, how did you start? I want to talk to Ken.
So do I, actually. Wait, can we go back? So, big fan, you did my show, and I'm mentioning the book in what way? I'm really curious. I will read the book.
Well, because I'm just a normal guy from Philly, so for me, when the show hit, to be able to see and meet some of the people that I always grew up and really enjoy it. So it was a big deal. You know how big 93.3 is in Philly, right? So going there was huge, and doing your show was huge. There were the two coolest things I did. Because one was something I grew up with,
right,
and then something I was just such a fan of yours. I could never get the bumper sticker, the WOW bumper sticker. That drove me crazy.
Is it getting louder now?
Yeah, we're gonna have to move.
We're doing a real thing here.
There's a microphone right there.
Holy. This is a microphone, and it's on.
You know what?
Step one, when you see someone with a microphone on, either join the conversation or shut the fuck up.
You know what's funny, is the hardest place to do a podcast is at the podcast booth.
Isn't that nuts? Shouldn't everybody know what's going on?
No one podcasts here. They're like fans of podcasts.
Why wouldn't you set up your equipment and try to get a podcast done? It's called podcast movement.
Opie, I think this is your last day in the podcast movement. You're going to be shunned out.
I'll never come back here.
Oh, never. You know what's good, though? I will come back because it's Philly and the food.
Well, we'll come back for another reason.
Yeah, Philly.
We don't need this.
I love Philly. Philly's the new New York.
Yeah, and then the guy that's in charge of the podcasting for Westwood One, who's a dear friend of mine. Speaking of YSP, Tim Sabian, he's a legend down here in Philly radio.
Me. It was huge.
Right.
It was another
So
big thing.
he goes out to dinner with us. He's just a babbling mess, right? We're not getting anything done, which is fine. Whatever. We're after hours, and then me and Carl and Nick Solaris were outside Ralph's, which is a legendary restaurant here in Philly. By the way, the food was awesome.
Fucking awesome.
And old school, nothing fancy inside. This is something I learned from Carl. Some of the best places don't have a lot of bells and whistles. They're down and dirty. They got a simple menu. They don't need fancy tables and chairs and art on the wall. They don't need the waterfall. They just know cook really good food. People come and come back.
Ralph's is the oldest continuously run family restaurant in America. It's old.
Yeah.
And it's old for a reason. I mean, especially Philadelphia. Philadelphia is like Chicago, where it's got a blue collar vein running through it. This town doesn't take bullshit. Like New York has turned into a bullshit town where it's transients. People only live there for 5 years. They really don't care. They don't vote. They don't understand anything about. Philly's real people from Philly. If you open a nonsense restaurant here, it gets eaten up.
Yeah.
Because the blue collar food here is so good. You go to Nick's, you go to John's, you go anywhere, and for $10 you can eat like a king.
Yeah.
And it's what New York used to be. This is the 80s. This is like the New York in the 80s. The food's great.
And now in New York, if you're not successful within 2 weeks, everyone panics and shuts down the damn place, right?
Oh, no. Or God forbid you say something, about somebody or something, you're done.
Yeah. So at the end of the last episode, we got... Oh, that's just great.
Opie's wrapping up the podcast.
Open that bag a little more.
I don't think they...
Yes, she is. She's actually working hard. She's at least trying to do something. What are these people trying to do? So at the end of the last episode, Tim is just stepping all over what we're trying to accomplish outside Ralph's. He's picking up construction cones and screaming, Opie Radio! All this nonsense. And then he panics the next day. He goes, you got to take all that out. I'm an executive for Westwood One. I'm like, I'm keeping every second in.
Right.
Next time, learn your lesson. You should understand how this works. Right?
Yeah, fuck them.
All right. So Ken Cage.
Yes, sir.
So you gotta explain once again how you got into the whole repo business.
Well, we bought the business. Honestly, I was 40 years old. Was tired of working for corporate America. A good friend of mine, Bob Weeks, and I were kind of in the same place. So we said, let's buy a company. And this one just kept coming back at us as the right one. So we didn't really know what we were doing. We thought we had a clue. We had no clue, but we bought the business, and 13 years later, we're still kicking it.
But I mean, were you repoing before that for somebody else?
I worked for Chrysler.
Cars?
No, I wasn't doing the repo, and I was doing the collections for Chrysler Financial and hiring repo guys to go pick them up. Right. So I was in the business, and then before that, I was at J.P. Morgan doing banking. So I kind of understood the financial side of it. I had no clue what I was doing. Right.
That's why you survive. Knowing the financial side of business is really, really important. You can always hire muscle, but like in the restaurant business, the people that get the financial side are the ones that survive. The people that just do, I love it. I do this because I love it. You're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Help me, just let it go. That's something.
Like these podcasters, they just love it. They have no clue what they're doing. They just love it.
This lady's talking with her hand. No one cares what you're saying. They don't care.
But you're black. You're triggered. You're snowflake triggered right now.
Because everyone's getting
louder.
louder.
You're like a 12-year-old of Fortnite, playing Fortnite.
Oh, man. Don't even start.
What is
that? My kids play that nonstop. And
how old are your kids?
The boys are 16 and 14.
Okay, because why? Yeah, of course. Take a picture of her. We're the big stars here, ma'am. Do you realize that?
Know us.
Turn around, look. Excuse me, take a picture of us.
You want a photo?
Yeah, thank you. We're big stars.
Spin around this way so I can get all this pictures.
Sure, yeah, all right, thank you. You know we're big stars, right?
Yeah, no.
You don't know. Jesus, she doesn't even know.
He's a superstar in radio.
I'm sure he is.
No, he's all right, take a picture so this is legit today.
Oh, yeah, we got that nice chandelier. And then look at each other and laugh like you're really engaged.
No, we don't do that.
We're angry people.
No posing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. See? Then,
Now you got to stop.
Now we have a new definition of money shot.
all right. Anyway.
Ken Cage, because he's interesting, and he has a career that's going upwards. So we should listen to him.
No, but I'm fascinated by the fact that, you got to have balls to just sneak on someone's property and repo their shit. When did you realize you could do that job?
When we bought the business, and I had 4 hungry kids at home, and I said I either do it or I fail.
So you weren't sure at first that you could actually step up and do it, right?
Right. You just, I had done a lot of goofy things like getting on the fields and getting into basketball courts, that you're not supposed to do. So I kind of felt like I could do it.
Right.
I know it's not a direct correlation, but I had gone into places a million times before I wasn't supposed to be, and it was no big deal. So, yeah, I was scared to death the first time I did it.
So tell us you got to tell us a couple stories, some of the good ones that either went bad or went really well or anywhere in between.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites, and there's a whole chapter in the book about it. See how I just segue that in there? Nice.
Okay. Smart.
I took a friend of mine who was known as Grady over to the Bahamas, trying to get a 120-foot yacht worth $8 million. We spot it, but we're waiting for the captain. Captain comes over, shit-faced drunk, so he can't move this boat. We have to wait till the next morning. Dude, we're going to get it at 7 a.m., sun up. Fine. Well, of course, he was drinking all night, so he's passed out, and we see the boat leaving the channel, going in the ocean. So we're like, oh, here we go. So I go bang on the door. We kind of track it. We know it's either going to Lauderdale or the other side of the Bahamas. Long story short, we hop on a plane, go to Lauderdale, get it. Bank gives it back. Next morning, he runs again. We get it. 3 times. Every time he threw the rope over, we were there to tie it up for him. The 3rd time, he wanted to run again, but the captain's wife was on board, and she said, screw this, I'm out. These guys are weird. They're freaking me out. I'm out. And once she quit, that was it. So it took us from the Bahamas to Fort Lauderdale, all throughout. 3 times the bank gave it back, and each time we were there to tie it up.
Why were they?
Yeah, what's with the bank?
They were scared to death of the debtor because he had property, and they were afraid that instead of just being at the $8 million, and then we would sell it and get them some of that back. They were afraid they would lose all the properties too and be out $20-30 million. And the debtor's son was a known drug runner in South Florida. He had all kinds of criminal records. They were scared to death of him. So they just kept giving it back.
Wow.
So the 3rd time, the bank didn't even get that 3rd call because the wife took off.
Well, that leads to the next question. So, you repo these people's boats and cars and obviously planes, airplane repo.
Right.
Are you ever scared they're going to come and try to do something to you because they know you were the one that took their plane?
You know what? Not personally, I don't think that. I mean, at the time they will. And they have, but most of the people we deal with are so wealthy, they have their attorneys on speed dial, so we have to deal with a lot of egos. And I can stay pretty cool. I've done all kinds of neat stuff that I've learned to stay calm, so I can kind of talk him off the ledge. Yeah, but I've been chased around a field. Some drunk dude in Arkansas had a shovel, and he was just swinging and chasing.
What were you repossessing in Arkansas? The state?
A piece of crap. Yeah, exactly. A piece of crap airplane that wasn't worth $7,000.
Like
but
a
it was
prop duster?
Yeah, it was his dad's airplane, and it was personal, so he just started swinging and chasing us around the field.
Southern people with that. You take someone's dad's shit in the South, you got yourself the Civil War all over again. So that was my daddy's.
Right. It's over, right?
Exactly. It's over.
Absolutely. I've been chased down the St. Johns River in Florida, getting shot at. So, and it was a Cuban national guy who was here illegally.
I apologize.
So we took his one boat from behind his house. We're getting towed because the tide was too low. Well, he had another boat back there. About an hour later, we're on the river. We're still getting towed. You see that other boat coming nose up.
Oh, yeah.
So we called a mayday in to the Coast Guard. But in the meantime, he's popping, and he's trying to get us. So now we got to get the towboat to go as quick as he can because we don't have the motors running. Luckily, the Coast Guard cut him off. Next thing I know, he no longer was running that car dealership or car shop he had in Jacksonville.
He's gone.
He went home.
He went home.
You went home. Wow.
Cubans get very upset.
Oh, he was an arrogant jerk, too.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier in the day, he was just, like, smug about it and everything. It wasn't even his boat. They were just parked back there, and he's like, you'll never find it. Okay, I'll never find it.
So, you're obviously repoing the boats. You're hitching them to some kind of vehicle, but you're also
sea tow, right?
But
Yes.
Oh, you sea tow them?
Yeah, generally. Because we've had people that tie the...
It's been a while since Opie's been on Long Island.
No, I'm an idiot because I'm thinking. My question was going to be, how do you hotwire these things to fucking get them started and get out of there? But I'm assuming that sometimes you've got to do that because you don't have as much time to get a rope on it.
Right, and sometimes sea tow can't. Like we did one up in Massachusetts this week, and the sea tow guy's like, "Yeah, I'll be there sometime tomorrow." I'm like, "Dude, I need it today." So we had to find a captain. Luckily, the captain knew where to get a spare key for us.
Right.
Wait, so you get the captain on your side because he doesn't own the boat?
We hire our own captain. Right. We hire a captain.
But do you ever get the captain of that actual boat
Sometimes.
Going, look, we got to take this thing, and we can either do it the easy way or the hard way.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
You can get paid,
right,
or not. Either way, I'm taking the boat.
Right.
So they're like, all right, I'll get my money. And same with the pilots. We've had a couple people. I mean, they'll charge us a lot, but the bank's like, from $3 million plane, I'll spend $1,000 for a pilot.
What's the nicest plane you ever?
It was a almost brand new Gulfstream G150.
Oh, that's a pretty nice fucking plane.
It was worth about $12 million. Yeah, that was gorgeous.
Did you get to fly in it?
No, pissed me off. I was in the middle of California, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. We'll fly it later." I'm like, son of a bitch. So, I had to drive out of Central Florida.
And where do you're like? All right, so say you take this plane. Where do you take the plane? Like the bank doesn't have a plane parking lot.
No, we have an office down in Orlando at the executive airport there. So we take as many as we can to the executive airport. We also keep a lot of planes at Houston Hobby Airport. So we have different airports throughout the country.
Does anyone ever try to steal shit back from you?
They have.
Yes.
We have one guy we took at Tuskegee, where the airmen are. We took an old beach aircraft. He also had a fighter jet that we took.
He had a fighter jet?
He owned a fighter jet. We repoed
So you took stuff from Jason Bourne.
More or less, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we took the fighter jet. Then the other plane next to it, brakes were bad, couldn't fly it. So we talked to the maintenance guy, and we're like, fix the brakes, we'll pay you whatever it is, we'll get it in a week. Well, he calls us in a week, he goes, by the way, your plane's missing. Well, he knew the owner, and he let him take it. We tracked the flight. He went from there to Montgomery, Alabama, and then he tracked the flight to Destin, Florida. So we had the cops in Destin waiting for him. When he landed, cops surrounded the airplane, yanked him out, and we took the plane back.
Wow. And now he's in trouble for stealing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's grand theft of his own thing. That's not your problem.
Exactly, that's not your problem.
We got it back.
Some of the planes you fly right out of the situation?
Oh, yeah.
I need to talk to Mark. It's legal to have a fighter jet?
Yeah.
As long as it's not armed, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of old
What was it, like a MiG?
fighters. Honestly, I don't remember. It was a 60s jet of some sort.
What does that cost to maintain? I mean, it's got to be insane.
It's not as geared up as you're thinking with the military jets. It's a real stripped down version of it. It still has the same look, but it's not nearly as expensive to maintain as the true military in action jets.
Wow.
but it's cool looking. And then the cockpit still comes over the top and locks.
Yeah, you get all jet stuff.
Oh, it's cool as can be.
Yeah. Talk about the adrenaline rush when you're taking someone's plane and you got to take off with it.
You know what? There was one time in Jersey. Of course, it's Jersey, right?
Okay. Welcome to Jersey.
Exactly. Cops always show up at Jersey, which is fine. But we take an airplane out of the flight school. All of a sudden, the owner of the airport comes, and it's an old Italian guy in Jersey. You get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So we take the airplane, and we're at the threshold. We're running it up to make sure it can fly. All of a sudden, we see this white caddy coming down. Again, how stereotypical. Yeah. Coming flying down the taxiway. So we, said, whatever, we're just taking off. As we take off, he ended up cutting in after us. But the whole time I'm thinking he could just cut in and kill us.
Right.
So it's like, you got to get this off the air, into the air fast. And we did. We just flew it to the next airport, which was a 3-minute flight. That's scary as all get out.
Fuck yeah.
I've had some real shady flights.
I can imagine.
It's not.
Plus, you're in a blind plane.
You don't really know how it. I mean,
maintained.
You know how to fly, but you don't know how it was maintained. If there's a little issue with this or that you have to adjust for.
Yep.
All that.
Yeah, because first of all, if they're not paying for the plane, they're not caring for the plane.
Exactly.
So you're literally going up in the air with someone's middle finger. Like, they don't care anymore about this thing. The only reason they care about it is because you're in it. If not, it's just sitting there, right?
Right, and honestly, most people don't even know that it can get repoed, and that's the thing. So they're
Well, how about this? Have you ever been in a plane and realized right away, like, shit, there was a real issue with this plane that you had no idea?
Yeah, it's only happened.
How'd you handle it?
You find the closest airport, which in most areas are not too far away, so then you can just put it down in a couple minutes. The one in Jersey, there was an airport 3 flying minutes away, so we were able to put it down.
Do you think Sully could have made it back to the airport, or do you feel like he wanted to be a rock star and land that thing and wanted to land that thing in the Hudson River?
There's
rumors that a lot of people, there's haters no matter what you do. In the end, the guy saved everyone's life, but then you get the haters. This was more of a joke question than anything, but there are people out there that went, he just wanted to look like a rock star. He had plenty of time to circle that shit back to the airport.
There's no way. There's no way anybody would choose to put it in the water.
That has it.
All right, we have some...
Oh, now they're doing shout-outs. That's great.
But
I don't know why my podcast isn't taking off.
What do you mean taking off? 1,000 followers. You're good.
I just simply don't understand.
This is a giant participation trophy.
I haven't seen one of these podcasters turn anything on. What are you doing here? You're not going to learn anything from the seminars, right?
We're the ones doing the seminar.
Right.
Every question they would ask Opie a question, and he would literally just look at the person and just go, "You know what? That's a great question. I don't know."
like 4 fucking times.
You know what? I'm going to have to think about that one.
Oh man.
Oh my God! I'm not here to learn about. None of these people can teach me anything.
What do you call those mustache? Handlebar? The handlebar.
Yeah. The Raleigh finger. There's a Raleigh fingers here.
Look at that. Oh my God.
How much attention do you need that you have a mustache like? He's 10 feet away. Oh my God.
Ask him where the baby bones are.
Are you trying to look like the Iron Sheik or?
Nice.
What? He looks like the Iron Sheik. Who cares?
I know you don't care because it's me and Ken that are going to have to fight. Right? You're just going to throw that pod mic at his head.
No one recognizes me, so I'm going to grow a handlebar mustache, and I'm going to wax the tips and curl them just right. Then people are going to start staring at me.
Get out of here. Philly's really wearing on Opie.
Anyway, so what was the other thing? Where does the shit and the urine go when you flush that toilet in a plane?
Oh gosh, they handle it. The airport handles that all for you.
Oh, so
it goes in a gray water?
Tank.
I thought
It's in a holding tank.
I thought you just release it into the air.
Oh gosh, no. Some of the the commercial airplanes did that. I don't know if you heard about that. It was a year or two ago. They were releasing it, and then all these houses had
blue ice. They call it blue ice, or it's a chunk of blue ice that goes crashing through their roof, right?
Yeah, it was nasty. Yeah, it's supposed to get handled at the airport.
Wait, so they were trying to? Why would they do that? Is it that much of a big deal to wait until you land to get rid of the waste?
Honestly, I don't know if they did it on purpose. They might have, but it's a lot of weight. And obviously, the lighter the plane, the better the fuel efficiency.
Right. Got to keep the light. So they were trying to sneak that by everybody?
It seems like it. It seems like it for sure.
That's right.
Superstar right here.
Do a little slow pan while we podcast. We can. Oh, you want this? I know you got it. Here you go.
Better side anyway.
Here you go. A little picture for the kid.
For the kid, he's all excited.
I don't even know.
No idea who you are.
That wasn't even a real
He probably doesn't know who I am. That's all right.
He knows you're a podcaster.
Yeah. Everybody is.
That stung. I can feel that stung.
He's going to go back to his friends.
So what do you do? I don't know. I filmed some up-and-coming podcasters. I don't know who I was filming.
He looked at Opie. He's like, that guy definitely has at least 2,000 subscriptions. He's doubled it this week.
Don't forget it.
Oh, man. Can you imagine if you only had 2,000 people listening?
Yeah, we would not be doing this. No. We're doing very well. We want to be doing even better, but we're happy with where this is at.
You know what's
right
funny
now.
with the podcast community is they're okay with slow growth, and that's something you got to learn. I mean, you got to really learn. Podcasts grow in a different way than a radio show or something like that. It's so different, and they're fine. I mean, some of these people shouldn't be doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Some of it. There's one about leaves that was really weird.
Yeah.
You should meet somebody with she's cute.
The one girl with the Superwoman outfit with one leg missing and...
What? She had one leg?
No, she had the outfit was... She had a leg. She had two legs, but one blue fabric, the fabric went down one leg, not the other leg, so she's all hanging out the one side.
Oh, I thought she had a fake leg.
Nah,
that
I'm
rocks.
sorry.
That would have been awesome.
I didn't mean to tease you like that.
I like hot amputees.
Who doesn't?
I mean, seriously.
I got an amputee story.
Oh, you don't.
I really do have an amputee story. You want to hear it? I mean, we can't stop it. So back in the day, Bill O'Reilly wanted us on his TV show, the No Spin Zone, and then he spun us round and round until we fucking puked from being dizzy. But his show's called the No Spin Zone. What an idiot.
Ken, I'm going to have you repo Opie's story.
So setting up for the big interview with Bill O'Reilly, they had one of these producers come in, right?
Right.
And she was very attracted to the kid.
She liked you, huh?
Yeah. So she came in day after day to do the pre-interview and do B-roll and all this. So we were hanging out with her. And then after the show, we were drinking with her and all this, right? And anyway, I had a girlfriend at the time, so I didn't go there. But I came close, and I got to tell you the story. So now we're doing a signing at Hooters on 56th Street, and she came to get B-roll. At that moment, after knowing her for a couple weeks and her hanging out with us, I look over to her and I realize she's got a fake fucking arm with a bracelet on it. So I tap Anthony on the leg, like, dude, look.
I would have loved to see Anthony's face when he...
And then everyone on my staff on the show, we all realized at the same moment at Hooters that she was hiding her fake arm from us all that time.
Was she hiding it or she was flaunting it?
How do you not notice? When she's in the studio,
but did she have it like in a pocket?
I don't know how she did, but none of us.
Was she like walking around like Napoleon?
I don't know.
It's a mannequin arm.
It looks like a mannequin arm. It's really creepy. It's creepy.
That doesn't bother me one bit.
They got the leg thing figured out, but they don't have the arm thing figured out.
I think that's kind of erotic.
So anyway, and she was pretty.
I need a girlfriend.
she was pretty sexy.
This is
so
not the place for that.
No.
So I find myself after one of these nights drinking. We're on a rooftop in the Village with her. And she invites me down to her apartment, and I was in a bad relationship, so I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'll be honest, I was thinking about it. So I go down to her apartment.
Guys, that's all we think about. Can I get away with this? Can I get away with this? That's my whole life is, can I get away with this?
It was still innocent. I go down to her apartment, and all her roommates are high as shit listening to Pink Floyd. And it's really dark with a couple candles lit, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Because the excuse was I got to get something from my apartment or whatever. I'm like, okay, we're all hanging out. So next thing you know, I hear her call my name from her room, right? So I open a door. It's the bathroom. She's in the bathtub, completely naked, with her arm off.
Oh, no.
So out of the ridiculousness of the situation...
I'm really hot and cold about this whole thing.
The rest of her body was really nice. I mean, really nice.
Yeah, right.
Everything was all right.
How bad was the arm? Was it like a little shark gnaw on the bottom?
It was above the elbow.
Oh,
and
that's high.
And she took it off, and she had candles lit. She was setting the mood. She's like,
she didn't want to get it wet. Was it wood?
It was plastic, like Ken said. They really are like mannequin arms.
Why didn't she just leave it?
So leave it on. I think she was feeling comfortable. Like, this is me, and let's get it on. I'm attracted to you.
So you're a dumpster full of weird emotions and innuendos and questions.
She's about to find out.
She's about to see. Opie literally turned into a rainbow. He went full spectrum in there.
You're kind of right. You're kind of right.
Touching his. Opie has all these tells.
You're kind of right.
He starts touching his peacholine, and then he starts touching his beard, and he pulls his ear.
So I walk in, candles lit, she's in the tub, no bubbles so you can see everything.
And you're full spectrum.
Everything, and I'm like...
And you kept looking at the nub. The room might as well be nothing in Opie's mind. The room was a blank canvas and half of an arm.
So yeah, there was some thoughts going on in my head, and unfortunately, the thought of laughing hysterically won over every other thought.
How is that even one of the options?
Because
Ken, never meet your idols, bro.
Because the ridiculously of the situation.
That's not ridiculous. You have to work through that.
Yes, it was sexy. Yes, the Pink Floyd music was cranky.
How loud did you laugh? Show me how
I just
do it now. That loud? No way.
And then I couldn't stop. She gets so mad. I'm like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. Because I really was still with somebody, right?
How are you?
Oh, hey. Watch, she's
How's it going?
good. We're podcasting.
Sorry to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt.
No problem.
Everybody's doing good?
Good.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
All right. Oh, you're good. You're good. I forgot her name already. Wasn't she on the podcast panel with us? Oh no, she was the.
She's cute.
She was the
one that
she was the moderator, right?
Yes. Opie, did you hit your head? We only did one thing. You forgot it.
She has both her arms, though, so he forgot about her.
There's Ken. So I'm laughing hysterically, and then I can't stop laughing. I politely was like, I can't. I just can't do this. And I left, and I saw my way out. She got a bathrobe on as quick as possible, and at the top of the stairs, soaking wet without an arm and a bathrobe on, she's screaming at me, going, "Get back here!"
Wow.
And you didn't go back?
No, and I'm laughing up at the stairs as I'm looking at her at the top of the stairs, and then I walked home laughing the entire way home.
You're thinking, I can't wait to tell Anthony tomorrow,
Yes.
aren't you?
Oh, yeah, we told this story on the air.
I can't wait to see
Oh, yeah,
him
that's
tomorrow.
the God's honest truth, man. I just, I got the sexiness of it, but I also got how this is so ridiculous.
I just wish I
that
knew you
part
back then
one.
so I could follow you in situations and jump in at the last second and close them for you. Because how hot was she? Scale of 1 to 10.
If she had, not that the arm should get in the way. She was probably a good solid 7 to 8.
Jesus.
Yeah, she was all right.
And the arm brought her back to, and brought her all the way down to laugh?
Well, I got another story. I'm not sure if we ever told this on the air, but so we had an office at NEW that, it was like a clubhouse. So before the show we were in there. After the show we brought everyone in there, and we just continued because me and Anthony at the time, we just didn't want to go home to our significant others. I was in a bad relationship. He was in a bad marriage, whatever. So we just hung out as long as we could in the office. And she would hang out with us, and this is another time where we should have probably noticed she had an arm, a fake arm. Anyway, we had disposable cameras, and I got the film developed like way after she was gone and the Bill O'Reilly piece aired, and she was taking pictures of her snatch. She would just go like this. She was wearing a sundress, and and the time she did that, she had a string hanging out because she was having her period, and I guess she forgot or thought it was covered, and because it was a portable, it was a disposable camera. She had no idea because nowadays you can take a picture and check it. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to leave pictures of my snatch for him. This will get him going." And we got the pictures developed finally when we found this old disposable. Like, what the fuck is this? And there were other pictures in there that proved it was her, and she was taking pictures of her pussy with a string hanging out.
String.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that. So I have no problems with that.
Oh, you would dig in, right?
There's very few things that can stop me. Police and maybe death.
Maybe death.
Maybe.
And the smell, no problem.
There's nothing.
First day of her period, no problem.
That doesn't even faze me. At no point would I walk in and go,
But you can appreciate it. I did. Okay.
I can appreciate it. I'm just trying to dig through all my emotions, and laughter is not even in the top 1,000.
I think I was also a little like just in a weird way uncomfortable because I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So, right. I don't know. The mustache guy's finally leaving.
I hope you let these people go. You're like a pit bull. Stop it. He's going to say something. Stop it.
Hey, man, I'm just seeing who you are, Dan Leonard.
Podcast Kiss.
Podcast Kiss. I like your mustache.
Thank you. This isn't going to help.
Why?
Because you can't, unless I rub my mustache against it.
Oh, there's no way. That was perfect. That was awesome, man. Thank you.
Now you don't have to Foley the mustache.
Okay, there you go.
Is that t-shirt working for you?
Nope.
Wait, what? Oh, you got the I am the man from Nantucket shirt from our Nantucket
Just trying to meet
trip.
some ladies.
You know what? Raleigh Fingers / the Iron Sheik got the best of me in the end.
He got you.
I bow to you, sir. Bravo. Bravo. Now I got mustache wax on this shitty podcast recorder.
Oh, did you see a little flea jump onto the microphone?
Look, it's all waxy.
See, that makes me laugh. Seeing a hot girl in a tub, it doesn't make me laugh.
I mean...
I'm just trying to figure out where you come from. Where did you arrive to? Right, Ken? Am I crazy?
No, I was a little...
The uncomfortable thing I can totally get.
I was a little lost, too, because, my relationship at home wasn't going well, but it wasn't officially over. And honestly, I was a little attracted to the amputee girl. I don't know, but the whole situation just seems so weird and just out of left field. So, her roommates were literally right behind the, bathroom door, cranking up their Dark Side of the Moon. So, Ken, why don't you explain your book, The $1 Billion Repo Man? So, is it your life story, or is it more about just
about the repos and stuff? I didn't really go into before the repo stuff much. Yeah. No amputee stories, nothing like that.
Well, that's smart. That's what people want to know.
Right, that's what I thought. So
sometimes you ever get these celebrity books, and it's like the first 5 chapters about your fucking life, and it's just like, dude, I just want to talk about what makes you awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's each chapter goes over either one repo. There's 2 days I did where I got 5 repos and 9 repos in a day, so I go over the whole day. And then there's a chapter about life after airplane repo, which is, I'll give you a clue, that's where you are. So you have to go through the whole damn book. Some of the people I got to meet.
Just tell me when to stop.
Honestly, I don't know. It's towards the back. Stop.
I'll find it.
Would it be funny if you were on that page?
Nope. All right, one more try.
Because Opie had me up there a few times.
I love Ken Cage, and he supports me, and he fights the good fight on the social media.
That's fun. I actually saw, just coming up here this morning, listened to your YouTube piece with Bichetti.
Yeah.
About, everything that went down. That was fascinating.
Oh, thanks, bud.
I just feel like you and I have a lot in common because you were talking about being the boss man and how all the crap falls on you.
Right.
And that's, Danny's a great guy. I love him. But I get all this crap because I'm the one yelling at people. And I'm just like, God, it was kind of interesting, a lot of the parallels. And
I had a lot of pressure and stress put on me during the O&A years, so,
I believe it.
And some bitterness kind of sank in there. So,
I actually had some, when we first got the show, I had a regular partner who was a former WWE wrestler. And we were supposed to do it together. I took him everywhere with me, and he was working for me, but we, all the TV stuff, if you look at all the earlier news stuff on NBC and Wall Street Journal, this guy was with me. Well, once the show came, he kind of decided he wanted to be his own personality and compete against me on the show. So you can imagine, that just created this huge angst for me.
Terrible. There's enough room for everybody.
He was supposed to be my partner like Danny is on the show.
Yeah.
And then I had to fire the guy, and then I acted like a jerk, too. I did things I shouldn't have done in response.
Right.
And then that's how I ended up meeting Danny, which was great, because Danny's fantastic.
Right.
But
everyone has their responsibility in it. I hate the fact that so much of the responsibility has been put on me, and it's like, look, they were no treat to work with either, and they had their responsibility in the whole thing, and how the O&A show just imploded in the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like there's enough room for everyone. I don't listen to Anthony's show. I don't care about it. I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. I don't listen to Jimmy's show. I don't care about it. But even through all this bitterness and all the stuff I've been through the breakup of the show, I still wish them the best.
Right.
But I have moved on, and I don't focus on what they're doing, although we're talking about it now, obviously.
I know, it's my fault.
But these guys seem to know every move I make. It's so weird.
I hear you. I mean, when you're emotionally invested as you were into what you're doing, I mean, it wasn't just, I feel like doing this. You were emotionally into it. That's why it was so good, and you could tell. So then when that's and that's how I felt. I felt that this guy was a friend of mine.
Right.
And then in the end, he goes with the former owner of my company who hated me and goes to the National Enquirer.
Wow.
So before the first episode came out, I was in the National Enquirer.
What did he say about you?
That everything I did was fake and I never did a repo.
Right.
It's like, come on. Yeah, but I didn't act right either, so I take my share of that. But
yeah, I understand.
I just feel like there was a lot, when I'm listening to it, I just felt a lot of parallels.
Right.
When you're in that high chair, you're willing to take all the hits and the responsibility. But then you also end up taking all the hot shots.
You don't get you take all the hits, but you don't take the same amount of credit.
Right.
Which is really, really frustrating. So
yeah.
I literally held that show together for a long time, and that doesn't take away from their talents. But in the end, I held that fucking thing together.
Right.
Because I knew what the fuck I'm doing.
I had fun. And that beer show we did. Come on, my guy was...
That was fun.
My brew guy was good.
Yeah.
2SP.
What's your favorite beer right now?
I just go to them mostly. And I'm not a huge beer guy. I like the 2SP stuff. I like Brooklyn Lager for some reason. I can't...
It's good stuff.
I apologize for that, but...
I like Brooklyn Lager.
Carl turned me on to Chinese beer recently.
Cheap Chinese beer is awesome.
Holy, it really is.
It's very refreshing. I drink very quickly, and because I drink Boilermakers, so I'm constantly drinking bourbon, and I just use that to keep me from passing out. And it's I like cheap beer. I like the taste of it. And Chinese and Japanese cheap beers.
But you used a word in there that perfectly describes Chinese beers and Japanese beers: crisp.
They're very crisp.
Very crisp and nice.
They
go down nice, and they're
nice
great when they're really cold.
Oh my god!
I actually worked with 2SP to develop a beer. We called it Yahtzee because that's my catchphrase on the show.
Nice.
So we had a Yahtzee Ale. It was an English bitter. It was 4% ABV. But it was crisp.
4%.
It was good.
That's a nice.
So you could keep pounding.
You can pound all day.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I pretty much drink since I wake up till I go to sleep. I'm working through it.
I'm working through it. Carl's an animal. I really don't know how he does it.
I killed Opie's agent last night. So
yeah, what happened?
So
after I left,
Opie's agent. I guess you want to have a heart-to-heart with me. Where's my career going? So one thing that media guys do, I mean agents and stuff, and I know this from just experiences, they try to match up with you, like sit down but I don't think he realized that I'm a monster, right? So we're going drink for drink. He's drinking B&B, I'm drinking Jim Beam. Bro, he got up, dropped the glass, and he's like stumbling, and the bartender's like, is he okay? I'm like, one more. She's like, I don't think I can serve him. I give her $20. She's like, one B&B coming up.
Exactly.
And then that was it. And after that, his one eye was closed. He's like, can you give me a cigarette? I'm like, you don't smoke. He goes, I just need a cigarette.
Oh my God, he's an older guy too.
Oh yeah, he almost didn't make it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So you didn't get through the
He
whole
couldn't
bucket
finish
thing?
one story. He couldn't finish one story.
Exactly, yeah.
He's like, I fell off the bike and broke my neck. Can I get a cigarette?
Who does that? That's why he's an agent instead of doing this.
I love him though, but he's definitely not.
Yeah, he had a tough bike accident. He's all right.
He's a good guy.
He's all right. All right, Ken
Got a
Cage.
fan over there. I like it.
Where?
Right there, the girl in the pink jacket. She's putting sanitizer on her.
She was. Who are you?
Eva, please no.
Who are you?
She's not. It's Opie. Opie, stop it.
She's
What?
got a knitting show.
Yeah, she's not a fan of yours. She just has glaucoma. She's staring at us.
Maybe it was glaucoma.
Skinny Michael Moore. Love your podcast.
Skinny Michael Moore.
I think that's the name of his podcast. Skinny Michael Moore. All right. Should we wrap up?
What are we doing?
Well, we're going home. We're driving home, right?
Any more panels?
No.
Opie was the best.
Opie, what did you do? Well, you know what? I don't remember.
I'm giving you nothing.
I thought Opie was like in a congressional hearing up there.
I got
Oliver North up there.
I'm going to tear down a wall. I'll tell you why this is killing me right now, because, this is funny for the podcast and stuff, but Carl was very complimentary after my panel. Our panel.
I just told people the truth.
Ken Cage, so thanks. How do we get the book?
Amazon, or you can, if you want an autographed copy, kencagerepo@gmail.com.
Got to sign this one for the kid. Do it for Opie.
That's why I bought the pen.
Yeah.
Hey, where are we going with aviation as we wrap up?
What do you mean,
what the hell
as far as general aviation?
You really are a podcaster.
No, I'll tell you, because I forgot where it was, but they're talking about flying trains. Did you see that article the other day?
Oh, gosh.
But if it's in the air, isn't it just a plane? I'm so sick of people going, "Oh, flying cars." That would mean you got a fucking
plane with
a
wheels.
plane.
Right.
Did you see the flying trains yet?
I haven't seen that.
They got some weird new technology where the train takes off.
Then how's it land?
I don't know. I didn't get that far in the article.
Flying trains.
Opie just looks at the picture and goes,
Wow.
Could you see him like with his little he has these readers from CVS?
Yeah.
And he's just going through the paper. He goes like the weird, I bet you has his feed is all those weird technology and science, or who would have known it fucking articles.
No, actually, I got Google alerts for Little People Big World if you need to know. If you need to know the truth. There's a lot of drama in that family.
Why you laugh at hot girls in tubs.
There's a lot of drama in that family.
You have no arm.
Ron Valeri, who was the one that listened to me when I said... Ron Valeri was trying to hire me to go to Boston, to go to AAF. And I said, they had a night show available, but I was already doing nights at BAB. And I was the one that said, look, I'm working with this new guy, Anthony, who is as green comes, but, a natural talent. And Ron Valeri believed in my vision, and I sent him tapes and he goes, wow. All right, yeah, we'll bring you up to Boston, do afternoon drive instead. So I'll always love that guy. Right. But what he told me, he was the one that told me, all you need to do is read the first paragraph of any article and you're good.
Wow.
And I sort of do that now,
Larry.
Until you ask the follow-up question.
Exactly. What do you mean flying train? Boo! I don't know. I don't care.
How does it land?
I get fucked with the follow-up question.
It just takes off.
But did you see how he started? Like, what do you think about the history of aviation? Like, he was hinging this whole conversation on one paragraph.
But I do want to know where we're going, because at one of those I think it was Japan, they were talking about the drones, the single-passenger drones now, where you could get a fucking drone, and with GPS, you'd pop it in, and this thing will fly you without a pilot, obviously, to your destination. How close are we to actually having that as reality?
We have it right now. Nobody flies those planes half the time. I mean, they just land them and take off.
No, I understand that, but for us, for citizens...
I mean,
they were showing one in this show in Japan.
That's what he should have done when he saw the girl in the tub.
I'm so sorry, Ken.
No, this is good shit.
I don't know if they're going to have...
I'll tell you what they're going to have. They're going to have planes. They're going to have big planes, and they're going to be run by robots.
Right.
Like everything else.
But people want a drone just for them.
They did now. It's called the Beluga.
I saw that, and it looks like, and they make it look like the Beluga
right.
whale.
So what people realize is, and this happened from the Concorde, they realized people rather have cheap than speed, right? So the Concorde is very expensive, but it got you places really fast. But they decided to go the other route, which is make planes ginormous, like a bus or a train, and very comfortable. So people have no problems. They're zombies. They have no problems sitting on a plane for 8 hours as long as they have Wi-Fi and fucking cheap soda.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the history of aviation. That's going to be what aviation is.
So you think
these ginormous planes, and for $99 you go fucking anywhere.
And you got a little like a little bar area that you can walk around to, and
commercial flights are changing from a business structure to a vacation structure, because people don't need to travel for business anymore. You can have Wi-Fi, you can communicate with people.
Right, of course.
So that whole thing, like this whole conference shit,
it's falling apart.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Vegas. You saw Vegas. Vegas is they're the smartest business people, right? Because they're the best people in corralling people. And if you notice how They quickly went from the convention centers to concerts, restaurants, because they know that business shit is almost
video conferencing is huge.
Oh, yeah.
And with that said, as we wrap up from the podcast movement, none of these people really needed to be here.
They don't need to be, even in their own lives.
They all just came to see you two on the panel.
Opie on the panel.
I'm going to get a lot of information from Opie. What do you think about this?
Figure it out yourselves.
You could tell how cagey Opie is, because one of the great people that was asking the question was his manager. Were you going to call me this week? Remember he asked the question?
And then I moaned when he raised his hand. I'm like, oh, that's Mr. 10%.
Yeah, oh my God, it was so funny.
And everyone was like, oh my God. No, because here's the other thing. Like when you do this, like I got real ideas. I'm not sharing it with other people because they're the competition in the end. So I gave them some of my shittier ideas that I already did a long time ago. Yeah, try this. It worked for me 10 years ago. It's not going to work now though. The whole world has changed, you silly goose.
Oh, it was bad.
So, all right, Ken Cage.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's good to see you again.
Really good to see you.
Great to meet you, Carl. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And thanks for all the kind words on Twitter. It doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
My friend Ken Cage. Me and Carl are going home now. Joey, do what you gotta do.
Okay, Greg. So, as you could hear, we're wrapping it up in the great city of Philadelphia at the 2018 podcast movement. And Opie and Carl are making lots of friends, showing their utmost respect for their fellow podcasters, not being typical radio or TV personalities. They obviously have an amazing grasp and an intimate connection to this grassroots surge in digital media and the camaraderie that goes with it. Thanks to Ken Cage from TV's Airplane Repo for stopping by. Let's get right back to our host, the funny cook who can't let go of Nantucket, and the conclusion of our visit to Philly. That one-armed girl story with the period, though. And Opie got fingered by Raleigh. Well done, mustache guy.